That would be just fine. I heard the conference went very well earlier this year, Fook. Thank you. I'm very glad we were working that out, Nellie and Sarah. That was Alan who gave a lecture earlier in the year. And I look forward to reading the papers too, Fook, when they are published. Right. I you and I read some of those papers, you'll recall, earlier in the year. Excellent. I mean, it's been fantastic. I've enjoyed it. I miss my friends in Indiana, but the move has been great. It's a terrific faculty. Actually, you'll enjoy one of my new colleagues here was one of the people who was on the trip when we came and I did my visit a couple of years ago. He was at the time at a university in Texas for Sarah and Ellie. That was Keith Robinson. Robinson was at the conference on intellectual property when I was there working to build the relationship with UEL. So we talk about that trip often. And we still stay in touch with Swan Tao, who is in Seattle, Washington now. That's what she told me. That's what she told me. So I think she likes it there. Sure, her father is there, and so she's happy to go to her family. Did they come? Great. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Well, this is a really a special university. We have across the university we have real um, strong international programs and a full range of partnerships around the world. So I hope when we get everyone there, I'll let Ellie and Sarah are more expert in all of the operations here. But I hope we can talk about ways to work together. I think you would love it here, and I'm always eager to find a way to get back and visit you. It's so nice to see you again. How are you? It's very nice to see you, and I'll let my colleagues introduce themselves as well.
Hi there. My name's Ellie. I'm the Assistant Director for International and Graduate Admissions at Wake Forest Law. So I recruit international students mostly into our LLM program. Nice to meet you.
And hello, I'm Sarah Morath. I'm a professor of law here and the Associate Dean for International Affairs. And I work with Ellie once our students get here and work with faculty as well who might be working with the international students.
Oh, Andrew Klein, and we should ask them make sure. And Andrew or Andy is fine. Nam and Fook, are we waiting? Do we wait for another? You have another colleague joining you. Sure, that's fine, and I'll just say a few words, but then I will hit mute. I really, as you recall, we had such a warm partnership when I was at Indiana, and a productive partnership, and I just wanted to open the door to conversations about how you might get to know my new colleagues here at Wake Forest, and ways that we might cooperate as well. We could tell you more about the university. We could talk about the possibility of faculty exchanges. We could talk about the possibility of bringing students back and forth. I know we did all of that successfully um, with our previous institution, and so I'm just eager to make an introduction to my new colleagues and learn about how we might work together. Oh, it's so nice to meet you. I'm Andy Klein. I'm I'm the dean at Wake Forest University School of Law. Well, Fook, I mean, obviously, I know that a visit would be fantastic. So, what would be the best way for us to have a conversation about the range of ideas that you might have for us to interact with one another? We'll make it. We're fine. We'll make it work. Now we understand. And so again, this is an introductory meeting, and we can let's just talk about the ways that might be work. Ellie or Sarah, you guys jump in too. You can talk about what we do at the law school in terms of hosting visiting scholars. I know, Fook, from previous work, that's of interest to you, is to have your scholars from Vietnam spend some time in the United States. I know that we might have folks interested in doing the same. And from my previous position, I know that your students who've done the LLM over here have done exceptionally well. And it's been wonderful for us to have alumni in Vietnam who studied with us. So I could let Ellie or Sarah talk about the kinds of programs and structure we have here, if that would be helpful. Thank you very much. That was immensely helpful, and I want my colleagues to share, but from the description, I think we have a lot of areas of overlap with the areas of your interest, particularly in the area of environmental law and climate change. We have a lot of expertise on our faculty, and I know from my previous visit that you have a lot of interest in business law as well, and we have a great deal of expertise on that as well. I should let Sarah or Ellie chime in as well.
Do you want to start, Ellie, or do you want me to go ahead?
You go ahead, Sarah.
So I would just echo what Dean Klein mentioned about a lot of overlap in terms of the scholarly interests of our faculty and some of your areas of expertise that you noted, and some of your areas of interest, such as climate change and business law. We offer a lot of similar programs that you're interested in engaging in, including student exchanges. So we have students currently, we have 2 universities where students at Wake Forest can participate in exchanges with international law schools. So we have one in Italy and one in China. We'd love to have another law school where students can participate in exchanges, and that's where some of our law students would go and spend a semester at an international law school, and then some of the students from the international law school would be able to come and spend some time at Wake Forest Law School. We also welcome visitors. So we have a visiting international researcher program where experts from international law schools can come and spend some time at Wake Forest Law School. We have an LLM program. So this is a program where international students can get a degree from American law school. Some stay and take the bar exam, for example, or they go back to their home institutions with that additional degree and knowledge of U.S. law. We also offer, I think one thing that Wake Forest does really, really well is we are very student focused. So the students who come to, the international students and our JD students who come to Wake Forest get very personalized contact with the professors. We love our international students, and we try really hard to make them feel welcome, provide them with the information they need so they can feel comfortable as students here at Wake Forest and in the Winston-Salem community. We have programming for our international students so they can get to know one another, as well as the other law schools, the other JD law students who are here. But Wake Forest really prides itself on really getting to know its students. The faculty really know our students well. And I think that that's true for both our JD students and our international students as well. So we would welcome any students from your law school, either in an exchange program, an LLM program, and we have an SJD program as well, which is another degree program where students would spend three years instead of the single year with the LLM and get a doctoral degree from the law school. So those are some of the programs that we have for our international students. But again, I think the signature sort of the key thing about Wake Forest, I would say, is that students feel very welcomed and cared for when they come to Wake Forest. No one is ignored, and no one feels like they don't have someone who they could reach out to and work with if a problem or an issue arises. And we really pride ourselves on that here at Wake Forest. Ellie, do you want to talk a little bit more about the student side and some of the programs that you're working on?
Sure. Well, I would just add to that since you mentioned an interest and sorry, go ahead. Yes, I'd just like to add that since you mentioned an interest in environmental law and sustainability, we do offer concentrations within the LLM program. So if you have graduates of your university that are interested in coming to study their LLM with us, they could choose a specialization in environmental law within the program. We also offer other specializations in technology law, healthcare law, criminal law, business law, and they can also design their own specialization if they're interested in something that we don't offer. So it's a very flexible program. And I just also wanted to add that the LLM students, the international students, are fully integrated into classes with our JD, with our local American students, which I think is really valuable. You might find that in some LLM programs in the US, international students are taught in separate classes, but I think that that integration with US students means there's, learning in both directions, which is valuable both for our JD students, and for your students visiting us.
I think. No, I say, Fook, all of that sounds interesting, and very interesting, and I think all of that sounds like things we can accomplish. And I don't want to get into the great level of detail. Certainly, I'm happy to help serve on the editorial board as I did for the program you operated this last summer. One other program here I want to mention, because it was something that was on my mind today. We have in our building a center on environment and sustainability that is interdisciplinary. So we have people in our building working across disciplines in law, science, economics, and business. And I think that would also be a program where we would find a lot of opportunity for collaboration. Regarding more detail on the program, Ellie definitely can provide you with more information. And if we could exchange your thoughts on the MOU, I think we could move forward toward planning a visit sometime in the coming year. Ellie or Sarah, I don't mean to talk over you, since you have more expertise than I do on Wake Forest. Go jump in.
I mean, just on the MOU, what I sent you, Fook, was just kind of a starting point, but we'd be very happy to consider any revisions you want to make to the agreement or any suggestions you have. You were mentioning adding something about visiting scholars into that. That would be absolutely fine. So we can continue to discuss that. And there was something else I was going to say, and now I've forgotten, but no, that's it. Yeah.
So, Fook, it sounds to me like we have an interest on both of our sides in trying to find a way to work together. What would be, from your perspective, the next step forward? Would it be helpful for you and Ellie to correspond in writing to work on the MOU? Would you like more information on some of the programs we mentioned, for example, our Environmental Law Center? And we could certainly send you more information on some of our faculty and the work that they are doing, overlapping with the areas that Professor Nam mentioned. That sounds wonderful. And Fook, let me say to you, if you'd like to send me information on the editorial board for the journal, that's something I would be happy to look at personally. I mean, if that would be a way for me to demonstrate my level of interest, I'd be happy to do that. I'm very glad to have introduced everyone. I look forward to getting a chance to seeing everyone in person too. It's nice to see your conference room. I enjoyed my trip there very much, and I hope we can find a way to work together. I hope you do too. I may say this, and you can please say this to Professor Nam. It is a wonderful university. It is one of the finest universities in the country, and I say that with no exaggeration. It's a very welcoming and warm environment, and a very intellectually stimulating and robust environment as well. I think you would really enjoy it here. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day. I know Ellie will be back in touch, and we'll talk amongst ourselves here to make sure we move things forward. But thank you for taking the time to talk to us. It was really wonderful to see you. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Yes,
Yes, I hope so.
we will. Bye.